I'm continuing to read from my book, The Everlasting Gospel of Jesus, in chapter 2, Who's Your Daddy? This book is available in English, French, and Spanish to read for free on Kindle uh, Unlimited. It's soon to be available in Portuguese and Urdu, or you can purchase it on Amazon. Jesus was the greatest teacher of all. Nicodemus, the master teacher of the Jews, called him Rabbi and said, "We know that you are a teacher sent by God, for no man can do these miracles that you do except God be with him." The woman at Jacob's well in Samaria called him a man which told me all things that ever I did. They brought him all sick people with all different kinds of diseases and torments, those possessed with devils, those which were punitive, and those with the palsy, and he healed them. They brought him the blind and the dumb, and they both spake and saw. The Bible informs us that Jesus had four brothers: James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas. But how were they his brothers? Were they children of Joseph and Mary, born after Jesus? Were they children of Joseph by another mother? When Jesus taught parables in the synagogue in his own country, after teaching parables to the multitude, they were astonished and said, "Where did this man's wisdom and these mighty works come from? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brothers James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us?" During the time the Jews were seeking to kill Jesus, his brothers told him to go to Jerusalem for the Feast of Tabernacles and do his works there so his disciples could see them. Jesus told his brothers that he would stay in Galilee, and they left without him. Jesus went to Jerusalem secretly for the feast. While the Jews searched for him, he taught openly in the temple. When Jesus was on the cross, his mother Mary, her sister Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene were together by the cross. Jesus transferred the care of his mother to John, referred to as the disciple who Jesus loved. John took Mary home with him from that hour. They left before Jesus died. Jesus was placed on the cross at 9 a.m., the third hour. From noon, the sixth hour, until 3 p.m., there was darkness in all the land. Jesus died at 3 p.m. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James the Less, and Joseph at Salome were watching when Jesus died. They had followed Jesus and ministered to him. In Matthew, it refers to them as Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children, James and John. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting next to Jesus' sepulchre when the soldiers sealed it with a stone. Jesus' mother Mary left with John. When Simon of Cyrene carried Jesus' cross, a multitude of people and women were following Jesus, bewailing and lamenting him. When Jesus died, all his acquaintances and the women who followed him from Galilee stood afar off, beholding these things. Among these women were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. After Joseph of Arimathea buried Jesus, the women who came with Jesus from Galilee followed and beheld the sepulchre and how his body was laid. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting over against the sepulchre. They then returned to prepare spices and ointments and rested the Sabbath day according to the commandment. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the sepulchre. On the first day of the week, they came to the sepulchre and brought the spices which they had prepared and certain others, and found the stone rolled away and Jesus' body gone. Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Mary, the mother of James, and other women that were with them went and told these things to the apostles. These references to the women do not refer to Mary, the mother of Jesus. The women are Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph and Salome, because Jesus sent his mother Mary home with John while he was on the cross before he died. There stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple who Jesus loved, John, standing by, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold thy son." And he said to the disciple, "Son, behold thy mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her to his own home. Mary, the mother of James, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph and Salome, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and the other Mary are all the same person. She is the sister of Jesus' mother, Mary. She and her sons lived with Mary and Jesus, and her sons were considered to be Jesus' brothers, even though they had a different father and mother from Jesus. Jesus' father was God, and his mother was Mary. The father of James, Joseph, Salome, and Judas was Cleophas, and their mother was the other Mary. James, Joseph, Salome, and Jude, were Jesus' stepbrothers. Mary and her son Jesus lived together with her sister Mary and her 4 sons and daughters. Someone who was not intimately close to the family would see them together and consider them to be Jesus' mother and his brothers and sisters. In a close family, no one would know the difference. There would even be confusion regarding the 2 Marys. Were there 2 fathers? Perhaps both could have been alive, both deceased, or either Joseph or Cleophas outlived the other. It really does not matter. They were family, if not by blood. When Jesus was teaching in parables before the multitude, his mother and his brethren came to find him, but they could not get to him for the crowd of people. Others came and told Jesus that his mother and brothers were coming to him. Jesus said his mother and brothers were those who heard and did the word of God. I have thought about that passage many times. Why would Jesus treat his mother like that? Wouldn't he rather say something like this? "If my mother is outside, bring her to me." Jesus performed the first miracle by turning water into wine at a wedding in Cana of Galilee. When Jesus' mother Mary was told the wine ran out at the wedding, she told Jesus to fix that problem. Jesus didn't want to do it and told Mary it was not his time. But Mary insisted, and Jesus made the wine. Jesus went to Capernaum with his mother, his brethren, and his disciples after the wedding. Was he angry with his mother? Did he have a fight with her in the meantime? leaving his mother outside and not seeing her and acting like that did not seem like Jesus to me.